Would you like to have an incredible amount of energy throughout your day? Well, it all starts with your morning routine. I'll share with you my morning routine to live a productive day. Welcome to the Confidence and Success channel where I share tips weekly on how to live a confident life. Here we go. I typically wake up around 4:20. Typically take me about 10 minutes to get to my gym. And once I get in my gym, which is the first thing that I do, is do a physical exercise for 30 minutes. Typically that consists of mostly cardio and a lot of calisthenics and a little bit of weight training, a little bit of resistance training. Number two is doing the one important task that'll have the greatest impact on my life. And for me, the greatest task is recording videos. I know some others is writing and teaching and just doing great things, but for me, the number one important task that can move my life from point A to point B is recording videos, which is creating content. That's my way of creating content. That is my way of serving the world. And typically, I can create a really good video in less than 20 minutes. That came with time, with practice, with a lot of practice. There's a system that I have where I can go from beginning to post-production in about 20 minutes. And I can also, normally, I usually outline what I'm going to write about a day or two or even weeks in advance. This way, when it's time to record, I don't have to sit there and try to figure out what I'm going to write about. Number three is I meditate. Meditation has become a big impact in my life. One of the great things I love about meditation, it calms you down. It gives you a sense of peace. You get in tune with your inner self. I simply use the breathing app that I have on my iPhone, on my Apple Watch. And I just do that for about 5 minutes. And I constantly breathe in and breathe out. Just focusing on my breath. And one of the great things about meditation, it helps you is to gain better focus. And what a great way to do it. And I do it every day. Number four is I read the good book. It is the most successful book of all time, and that's the Bible. I read it for several reasons. One of the reasons that I read it is it has amazing stories of people, setbacks and victory and overcoming challenges and empowering yourself and making a difference in others' lives and such things like that. And there's many other reasons. And another reason is it's a great place to, to read good stories. Five, it's journaling. For me, journaling is something that I've been doing for quite some time. And one of the great things I love about journaling is just keep you focused on what's important. There are 4 questions when I start my routine in the morning that I ask myself. I got 4 questions, but 3 of them is what I ask in the morning, and 1 of them I ask before I go to bed. The first question is, what am I grateful for? Now what that does is it shifts my focus from what's not working in my life, what I need, what I want, and instead it helped me focus on what I should be proud of, what I should be appreciative of. And I write 20 reasons. I will not go to the next step unless I have 20 reasons. Number 2 is how can I add value to my life, number 1, and how can I add value to others. And for that, there's 3. I usually write 3 separate answers for how can I give value to my life, and 3 separate answers for how can I add value to others as well. The third question that I ask is what am I committed to happen today, no matter what? No matter what the circumstances, no matter what challenges comes along, No matter what situation arises, what am I going to do regardless of it? You know, the only way I would not do it is if I'm in a hospital bed and you talking about life and death. But if I can even open my eyes, I will do it. 4, which is the final question towards the end of the night, which is, what did I accomplish and learn today? You know, and all this step takes me about 5 minutes. It's not rocket scientist. It's just simply, sit down and get quiet and get away from distraction, put the phone down, and unless you use a phone app, and if you do, just put the do not disturb on. And I simply go to these questions so I know exactly where I need to be, what's important in my life, and what am I committed to happen no matter what. The 6th step in my routine is I read my vision and my purpose for my life. Currently, right now, I have a 3-ring binder that in there I have literally every aspect of my life of what I want to accomplish with my life. And I read that thing to myself every day, sometimes multiple times a day, because as we know, doubt, uncertainty, and fear all going to show up. Why? Simple. Because you're doing something you typically don't do, and you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. And when you do, those 3 cousins will show up. So I have that in my ring binder, and typically when I read it, it takes me about 5 minutes or so to read it. And typically when I read it out loud. And another thing that I do is on my iPhone, there's this app called Voice Memo or something like that, where you can record your voice. So what I did is I record my whole purpose and vision that's in that binder. And what I do is when I'm in the car, I usually play it through to my transmitter through the radio in my car. So this way, I not only read it, but I'm hearing it daily. And repetition is the mother of learning. So this is what I do on a daily basis. And it typically takes me about 5 minutes to do that. Number 7, I watch empowering videos. I watch videos that empowers me to, I watch videos of people who've overcome a lot of challenges, who's faced the odds, and they still made it through. Normally, I usually watch, he's probably my number 1 mentor, is Myles Munroe. And unfortunately, he's no longer alive. But his teachings are impacting my life in so many ways I can't even describe. That was a great man. He really, really impacted my life in so many positive ways. And I'm truly grateful that his teachings are that he actually followed through, and so someone like me could learn from him, and eventually I aspire to be like him one day. And step number 8 in my routine, and another thing I want to share as well is all of this I'm talking about takes me in approximately about an hour and a half from the time I get up in the morning to when I'm completely done with my morning routine, which is exercising, doing my morning routine, and then creating the number 1 important thing that will make a difference in my life. That's the most important thing in my life. It takes me about an hour and a half. So it's not a lot. But I am sacrificing a little bit in sleep. But you know what? What's more important? Sleep? Sleep is very important, don't get me wrong. But me, I just refuse to settle, refuse to just let things happen. I want to be proactive. Anyway, go back to number 8. I read my goals. And that's typically the goals that I set for the 90 day, for the quarter mark. I set my goals in increment of 90 days. If you think of business, or if you think of sports, like how they have the first quarter, second, third, fourth, I set it in it's like typically when you're in sports, the first quarter, you may have a great first quarter. And then you can wind up having a horrible second quarter. But what happened usually after the first quarter? You have a little timeout between the first and the second quarter. Why? So you can look at what the defense is doing. You can see what your opponent is doing. This way you're like, okay, this is what they're doing, so I can make adjustment. But if you don't have that little separation from the first to second quarter, sometimes you not even know what you're doing is the right thing to do at the time. So you constantly have to reflect on what you're doing and make adjustment, and then see what you can improve on. One of the reasons I read my goals is to make sure I keep my sight on my destination, which is my goal that I have for the next 90 days. And also is to reinforce my mind to create ways and ideas on how to get there. And for me, and this was the whole process that takes me about an hour and a half. And then I begin my day. As the time of writing this, I still work. I'm in the hospitality industry, and I usually work around 7 a.m. in the morning. So that means I usually get about 4:30, and the whole process takes me an hour and a half. By the time I'm done, it's usually close to 6:15 or so, 6:15, 6:20. That's the time I'm gone. I'm heading the door and ready for work. That's all for today, folks, and I hope you gained so much value from this video. If you have a morning routine, please share in the comment below. And if you don't have a morning routine, this can jumpstart your own morning routines and create your own mornings. Remember, bottom line is, it's not here to copy or it's just to give you different ideas and to see, okay, what am I doing in my life? Because every situation is different. What works for me may not work for you. Me getting my 4:30 may not be something you do, because it may not be something you want to do. Maybe for you it's 30 minutes before. If you're brand new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification for future videos. And again, you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.